Hi again. Welcome back to week 1, if you've already watched the welcome. This is a very short video just to kind of put into context our first week, which, as I mentioned in the earlier video, is really just about some reading, just to kind of frame the type of writing that we'll be doing. What I find is a lot of students who don't really love English classes tend to actually find this class resonates with them a little bit more because it is so constructed and kind of a little bit more rule bound. And some people who really love writing find that too rigid. But I will say, for those of you who do really like writing, this is really good practice to kind of hone and sharpen your ability to communicate really clearly. And that's really what it comes down to, is we're going to be spending a lot of time talking about the purpose and the audience that we have and trying to make sure we communicate clearly. In a workplace setting, you're not trying to entertain per se, that's not your main goal. Your main goal is to communicate. And often one of the considerations will be thinking about whether you're communicating internally or externally. Often it's both, and then that can be kind of tricky to find a tone that is suitable for both audiences, and we'll delve into that a little bit more as well. But when you explore the first readings, I think you'll find some interesting subject matter in terms of audience. Also, a couple of other things that I'm asking you to read. Global communication is really important to think about as our world becomes smaller, as we tend to work with people from across the world. There are different cultural considerations you need to consider. So it's important to kind of have that in your mind as well. And then ethics is something that we'll continue to talk about throughout the semester, because communication language is manipulative, right? I mean, just by virtue of what it is, you have the ability to set a tone and create an emotional experience. Imagine if you're in a company, for example, and you're promoting a product or a service. There are ethical lines, right, that you need to think about. So you need to make sure you're using language in an ethical manner. Additionally, you want to make sure you're using language in an up-to-date manner. There are social norms, and language, our English language is a changing, ever-changing phenomenon, and it's important to keep up with appropriate descriptors and things like that. And we'll delve into that throughout this time as well. I just want to say, too, I always say this in English classes, writing is not some kind of talent that just, magically appears for some people and not for others. The talent part may be in the creativity, maybe in the devotion to the craft, but writing itself is a skill, and it can be learned. It's simply something that can be learned. So I really encourage you to keep that in your mind. If perhaps all of your writing experiences have maybe not been super positive. Another thing is that some people think that professional writing is going to be a very dry class, and I've really worked hard to insert a lot of creativity and give you a lot of space to really make it your own. What I'm seeing in the professional world now is a lot more space for us to be ourselves. Formatting is not as rigid. All those rules are not as rigid. So there's a lot more space for creativity. So I tell you that too, in case you're thinking, oh God, this is going to be terrible. So take a look at those few readings that I have listed, and kind of familiarize yourself with Brightspace, and we will delve into more material next week. Take good care.